Hello everyone and welcome back to Painting with Martin. We're back with another painting tutorial of how to paint Star Wars Battle of Hoth. Here I have the scenario book, but the game box looks very similar to this. And today we're going to take a look at some of the most iconic troopers from, or units from Star Wars, the Star Wars universe, namely the speeders. The T-47 speeders, actually those were featured in the the Empire Strikes Back, that's the one. Not Return to Hoth or anything like that. But these are the ones. They come kind of like in white color. I've chosen to prime them using a special primer, using Mechanicus Standard Grey spray can primer, but a spray can primer black would be fairly fine as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give them a base coat using an equal mix of Mechanicus Standard Grey, mixing with a little bit of Zandri dust and we're going to use a flat brush for this one. I have mixed it off camera over here. And when we use the flat brush, we put pretty much, let's see here, yep, there we go. We're going to move it all across. Yeah, we're going to do like that across the entire surface as such. And then we're also going to do it for the underside as well of these ones. Let's see here. I'm not putting too much of paint on my brush on this one, so it's almost like a heavy dry brush. This one will give it a nice base color look for it. Also, since the country I'm in, Israel, is currently at war, so in case there is an alarm, unfortunately I have to cancel this one because I'm sitting in the air raid shelter painting these ones. So hopefully that won't happen. So with this one done, I'm going to leave them aside, and I'm going to leave you what it says looks like this on the underside like this. The base will be painting that later. So now for the next step, we are going to take what we just mixed and mix it in with a little bit of deck tan from Vallejo. I'm going to see if I can move this one in a little bit closer so you don't have to see my hand all the time. There we go, this is my wet palette. And I'm going to move this, mix in a little bit of deck tan into this one. I'm going to do this with increasing quantity of deck tan to make sure it has a nicer, lighter look, so to say, as from the movies. And I'm going to use it almost as it was also across the entire surface as such. And not particular very much if it covers something is not covered, especially the back side here where the engines are. And that means they will be left in the original Mechanicus Standard Grey pattern. Now, make sure that you cover the underside of the guns as well, as such. And if you want to, you can also do this one on the underside as well if you want a lighter color on them as well, as such. Now I'm going to tell you as well, giving this one to dry, and this one looks like a bit like this. I'm going to increase my quantities of deck tan into my mix until I get a much lighter tone as such, and I'm going to now start touching only the raised areas, leaving some of the original color we just put on underneath, just like this. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to choose to take just deck tan and take some white, Vallejo white, and mix it in. And when I do so, I will simply take only deck tan. And you can do this with increasing quantities of white until you get the color you want. Now I'm mixing it in here on my wet palette, and here wiping some of the paint off. Now I will do this one on this one here, so you will see what it looks like. And I will now touch only the raised areas here, so you can see where you want it. And I will do so with this one here. And until you are left with a much lighter. I'm touching it over the guns mostly, and if you mix it in with some of the paint, that's perfectly fine as well. But keep in mind, I'm not touching the engines here. I'm not touching the underside except for the guns here as such. Now you are going to be left off with a fairly nice finish, but we are not ready to paint all the stripes and things like that yet. First we are going to be painting the engine parts, and we're going to be using the engine parts here for this one here, like this, and we are going to mix in a little bit of Chainmail metallic from Vallejo with simply something like Vallejo black. You can use any, you can use actually Abaddon black with lead belcher here as well if you want to. I'm switching off to a smaller brush, not a flat brush. I have it already mixed here, and I already just want to touch up these metallic parts over here. I'm also taking the opportunity here to paint the kind of like harpoon gun here in the back as well, as such. Now also this one is on the side here as well. These ones here is also not quite important. And don't forget the underside here. People often miss this one. So the engines here continue here like this, as well as there's a little bit of a vent, a little bit of a hatch here, or like engine part here as well. Just touch that one up as well. It really makes a difference when you look at it. Now, leaving this one to dry a moment. You can also do this one here for this side here as well. This one. There are 9 speeders in the Return to Hoth pack. Return to Hoth game, sorry. And you're going to paint them in this color to make sure that it looks fairly okay, like from the movies. They will look phenomenal on the battlefield once you actually turn them on. And actually once you deploy them. These are also from the Rebel Alliance, of course, and they're going to be going up face to face against the Imperial players, AT-ATs, all-terrain armored transports, and they are quite nice. I'm not painting this one because I'm not done with the original color here. So with this one done, you are going to be putting one of those nice stripes on. When they're done, they're going to look exactly like this. And I'm going to show you, and also the underside, you can also paint them if you want to. Now I'm going to show you how to do this in 2 ways. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take Vallejo Scarlet, okay? Vallejo Scarlet, and you can do this in 2 ways, the hard way and the easy way. I'm going to show you the hard way first, and that's going to be quite hard for me to do, but I'll try. And there's going to be just one stripe here, and I'm not very good at painting like even strips here, so something like this. And also on the underside, all the way from the that stand here, just one big line like this. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing using facing the engines, and one line like this, and a little bit further on, continue like this, and down over on the side as well. And also on the other side. And you can make it as like this, and also on the other side. Now, like this, as such. Now also a little bit here on the side, on the back here as well, you can do that, and a little bit on the back here as well. Now, also don't forget there's supposed to be a little bit more, a little bit up here as well, above the engine thing, like this, and you're done. Now here comes the alternative way. Okay, now I'm going this 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to use it for this speeder here. Now you can also use some masking tape here. I've used some masking tape here, and you take the flat side, and I'm going to mark it just like this. So you mark it down like this. Normally my tape sticks, but of course my tape chooses not to stick right now. But if you want a straight line, this is the best way to do it. So you'd paint it like this, and you'll hold down the tape if it doesn't stick, of course, all the way. See, I missed here a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. So looks like quite okay. You can do the same here by painting two strips here, like one next to each other, and of course the underside here as well. You get the drift. Now, you can also paint it on the underside here as well if you want to. I've chosen not to do because it's really looked bad when I painted it before. I'll show you what it looks like. It looked like that. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe you can't, maybe you can, but it doesn't look that great. Now, besides this one, you can, if you want to paint them in original colors, or actually in different colors, you can use the Goldyellow. So the thing is, Star Wars Squadrons used 4 colors. Rogue Squadron, which I painted here. Gold Squadron, which were the second best. And we also had Blue Squadron, third best, and followed by last ones, the rookies, Green Squadrons. And for Green Squadrons, I would recommend to use a color called Warpstone Glow from Vallejo, no, from Citadel, sorry. And that's a way to simply differentiate them. You have three types, you have 3 squadrons, so you can do any combination of Rogue, Gold, Blue, and Green. So I've chosen Rogue, and I'm going to choose to do Gold here as well. So I'm going to show you how it looks like with Gold. Now for this one here, I will paint Gold. Now it looks like this. And another strip here on the other side. I'm painting it freeform. And that's one side. Now for the hard part, and a little bit on the top here, and the underside, which I really think is quite important, on the just on one side here, just one line. If you do it in one single strip, that's fine, like this. Now it looks quite okay, and a little bit here on the back side here as well, and you're good to go. Now you're probably wondering about shading, and that is precisely what we're going to do next. I'm going to leave this one to aside for a moment. You can paint gold or a blue or whatever you want. Now for this one here, I will continue painting this one afterwards. I just want to show you how it's done. Now you are going to take some Nuln Oil, and you're going to take a lot of Lahmian medium, which I have over here, and mix them together. So first of all, we'll take some Lahmian medium here. This is 1 Lahmian, 2 Lahmian, 3 Lahmian, sorry. And we're going to have some Nuln Oil here. That means I have 1 part Nuln Oil, 2 part Nuln Oil, 3 part Nuln Oil, 4 part Nuln Oil, 5 part Nuln Oil, and 6 part Nuln Oil. You can mix it any way you want. You can have a 6 part Lahmian medium, anything you want in terms of like how dark you want it. And you're simply going to do it the following thing. You are going to take your engines, and you're going to paint the engines around it like this, as well as the guns. It's kind of like simulate that, so some kind of suit or something like that has been built up with the guns when they fired it. They're also going to cover the engine back here, make sure that there's no shine or anything like that, or too metallic. And so your way of dulling it down. Don't forget the underside of the guns here as well. And you can, if you want to, also cover some of these engine hatches here, which I've done. And this kind of gives it a nice look. Another good way to do this as well is you can paint these stripes like here, and these kind of make sure that they are looking quite okay inside here, like this, and making sure that they are filled in like these gaps here. Quite nice. Now, and for one of the last parts, you're probably wondering, what about the windows? Now, for the windows, I've chosen to use 2 colors. I've chosen to use, let's see where they are here. I have chosen to use dark sea blue from Vallejo, as well as a mix of black. And I've done that separately here as well. And I'm going to use these for the windows. And for the windows here, I'm going to use a ready model like this. And as such, like this. I probably should have dried my brush first. And the front here as well. And the back window. You'll do a much better job here than I ever did here, because my brush was wet, and that means they spilled around a little bit, which means that they don't look so neat. But it looks fairly okay. Now you're probably wondering, what about battle damage? And this is what I'm going to show you next in this kind of fun part. I'm taking some foam here, like foam core, and I'm going to dip it into the old, let's see here, this one here, the old deck tan. And I'm going to simply dab it over some of the areas here where I kind of like spilled over the paint. So let's do it here for this side here. So let's do it like this, dabbing it around as such. And you can also do that across the suit-filled blasters. And of course, keep that in mind, the paint needs to be absolutely dried as well. So this kind of like gives it a nice battle damage. And you can use this for most figures as well, making sure that you cover the original paint. I'm doing this one here for these ones. As such. Hopefully you saw that. I'll do that again. And now as such, like this. And there you have it. Now you can paint it snow, you can paint it white, you can paint the base grey as well as the stand here as well if you want to. But this is a basic introduction of how to paint the T-47 Rebel speeders from Star Wars Battle of Hoth, published by Days of Wonder. And I'm in no way sponsored by Days of Wonder Games, but I just feel like I really enjoyed painting miniatures from board games and making sure they look good on the table. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment and see if you want to learn more things like this. Otherwise, stay safe guys, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.